firstly, we've obviously just all heard the bad news about Harry Smith. Before we kind of look at the football implications of it, just how kind of sad and frustrating is it personally that he's picked up such a bad injury?
It's difficult to put into words, really. I felt great being part of how well he was doing. He's had some difficulties before in his life, and he looked like he was on cloud nine, getting offers for him. He didn't really want to go. He wanted to stay here. We spoke to him in the summer, and what we could offer wasn't quite what he wanted, but he was still committed. So I said, we'll look at that later on down the line. So we all, me, him, the chairman, the club, were in a great place. He was taking all sorts of responsibilities with the group that I wanted, and he was in formidable form. And I have to say, I think probably the best big number 9 in the division by quite a way, I feel. So I'm just devastated for him. We're going to have to try and move on, but what does he do? And the nature of his injury is going to be at least sort of this season's gone. So this is football for you. You never know what on earth is going to happen next. So obviously that implements me in what I'm going to think and how I'm going to look at the squad again, and what I might need might change. Well, it obviously has. So that means turmoil for a while until it settles back down, because how can I carry on without someone like Harry? Literally, who I could put back in and solve some of the deficiencies in that back line. In other words, it's obvious if you smash it on our head, we're not as good as we can be, and other teams are. So with him there, he papered over that. And in the first 3 games, because he wasn't on there when we let a late goal in, and if he was on there, we wouldn't have let that goal in. The first one, he'd have headed it out. And instead of us being able to change that and ask the goalie to come and catch it and threaten to catch it, we put someone else in Harry's role. He lost that header. There was 2 more just before that. So I've got major issues to solve, because Harry, who he was, how he was, what he did, how everybody understood him, how well he was getting on with everyone else, just solved all those issues for us. So now, total rethink for me, total rethink for us, because we've lost, I think, the best centre forward in this division.
That's early, but does that mean trying to find another striker of his kind of stature and physical presence is essential for you now?
Where are we going to get anybody like that? They're not out there. Or they're already taken up now, or they'll cost money to buy. So I think we're in that ball game. I've got to look at everybody else that I've got here and have a look what I might have to add, and how are we going to actually do things. So that's where I am.
And does his absence significantly alter the way you want to play tactically as well? Do you have to kind of rethink your entire approach in that way?
We had a cheat card last year, to be perfectly honest with you. All I did, right, he's so good in the air, we're going to smack it at his head and we're going to get 3 behind him and we're going to win that. And against Fleetwood, Charlie Adam never thought I was going to do that, but he was so good at it. It got us a win, it got us going, and then we learnt from that. We knew where the ball was going, and the other night they knew where the ball was going, so we rely on it too much as well. So now we haven't got that. I've had to have a total rethink, and I will have to change an awful lot of what we do, but I'm not going to do that straight away. I got to try and give the lads half a chance, but we will be behind the scenes working on what we believe. We were anyway, our identity of what we're going to be, but we have lost a major weapon from our armory, you know. So as a gladiator, we're going to have to learn how to fight a slightly different way. You know, someone's just nicked our probable chainmail because I could throw that over everything. Now I ain't got that anymore. It might be a shield, so I'm going to have to it's not exciting. It is what it is. I'm going to have to think, and luckily I've got a lot of experience, and felt I used that yesterday how I came in. But really, it's about how we all feel for Harry. And I think that's the easiest thing that I can do, is make the lads understand where he is now and how he sat there at home, and the nature of that injury. When you read about it, it's very, very structured, the recovery times that you need to do, and they are slightly flexible, but not really. So, and you need to be there every minute doing it and believing in yourself. So if my team doesn't help him, I will literally kill every one of them. Because this group last year didn't help Pharrell Johnson, who had all sorts of problems, and they didn't even bother to ring him. But everybody's been all over H now. So it hurts for all of us. And I'm glad to see that. And what it should do is hurt the fans as well. He was our player of the season last year. And with the speculation that we've had, some of the comments from some of our fans about Harry, should have sold him, should have done this, they really hurt, really, because you don't know anything. And I know you shouldn't listen to them, but it just amazes me what people are really, truly like, and football brings out the worst in people. Ripping bits of stand out and throwing them at goalies, come on. So this is where we're a real club now. And really the other day, in our own suite upstairs, Connor was asked, what's it like to lose a game that you should have won? And when you say should have won in your own ground against someone like Barnet, who are probably the best Barnet that they've been for years, and they're in our league on merit, and we ended up losing 2-0. I wasn't expecting to win that game. I was hoping we would, but we've got to earn that right. So who actually are we? And this might be a huge bump back down to earth for all our fans thinking, well, look at this, we got Harry and Smith, and we're going to have to re-find ourselves. But we need to stick together. So you have to be very gracious in defeat. I thought they deserved it overall. We had some chances that we normally would have taken, and if we'd have got them at the stage of the game that we had them, I think we could have won. But each game so far this season, even our next opponents, they did really well at times in the game that I watched the other evening against Notts County. And they ended up losing 4-1 because it's fine margins. And now we've got a different balance. And I've got to try and find a different way of getting performances and work in the team to actually feel that they can go and score, and they can win, and they can get out of defensive troubles without someone who's 6'5", who's probably the best in the air that I've ever had. And that's some statement. Do you know what I mean? That really is some statement, but it's a dying art to see that flight, to get your timing right, and no matter what people are doing to you, you still get your head on it. I have never seen the fouls that someone like Harry has managed to put up with, and that was part of the injury. He was being held back and he got angry. He didn't get a free kick and he ran probably faster than he has, and the bloke was holding him back, and then the goalie dived on him because he believed he was going to get there, and he would have got there without the physical pull back on him, which is a foul. So there's all these things that come into it, but take that apart. That man, I'm going to be there for him every second of the day just to make sure that I can help him through what he deserves. He deserves my love for the rest of his life. And boy, is he going to need it now. And I want our fans to feel just like that about everybody I've got in that team now. Prince gave 1 or 2 away and there was a few groans and moans, but they doubled up on him. They had 4 or 5 people. They did their own work. They totally changed to play against us. And well done to their manager. What I got to do now is be able to, and we're going to have to play more. It's going to have to be obvious, but not in the wrong areas. I can't do that. So how are we going to get up to there? Right? How are we going to do that? And this is our challenge, you know? And how are we going to deal with that when he's not in the middle line? So you know how important he is to us. So does our fans. So I'm expecting them to be right behind us and do it for Harry. And that's what I told my team yesterday, and I believe they truly want to. So just to finish, anybody who, football's about emotion. And for a long time, I haven't been as gutted as this. For a long, long time. And I really feel for him. And life can be completely cruel at times, but I hope to show him that you have to keep going. And you have to keep fighting. And the people that love you will still be with you every minute of every day. You're not on your own. And that's how I feel about that boy.
I know this seems kind of sort of crude to go back to transfers and all for that, but do you feel the need?
It is, but that's life.
Do you feel
This is football. I left Bristol Rovers. They banned me from playing. I hadn't signed my contract. They refused to let me go into training after all the years that I gave Bristol Rovers. I was fuming. Is that right? You don't want to be here, you got to go. So I've had these sort of situations. Touch wood, I never had an injury like that. But it's occupational hazard. And this is it's easy thing to say. Oh, look at these footballers, look at them, look at woo. Their career's on a knife edge, and then the club moves on. We lost Mickey Barrett. He died within 3 weeks of being ill. We didn't even know he was ill. And then in came Mark O'Connor, a left winger who was absolutely got Player of the Year that year. It's absolutely brutal. So, there we go.
I was going to say, is the need for a central defender now even more acute as well, and are you actively sort of looking in that market?
I don't talk about positions and people, but you haven't got to be a genius. Yes, of course I am. And I'm going to have to try and free up some money from somewhere to be able to do it, because Harry's wages still count on what we've got to pay. So it's caused Harry some problems, and it's certainly caused me some problems. And it'll certainly affect the club pretty strongly right now, with how many people are available now and who they are and who's left, and the timing of it is not good. It could have been worse. It could have been probably the next game or the next one after that, but it don't get any worse than this. But this is about us now, showing the fibre, showing where we are, showing what we want to be, not that what we are. You don't take what we are for granted. A big club, are we? No. Right? And there's some big clubs now who weren't very big before, who've grown. So what we got to do is keep growing. And this is going to make it very, very difficult. But it's a challenge.
Have you had approaches for other sales, or player sales, an option to get in those extra funds?
Yeah. Basically, which I had to instigate, yeah. So when it's right to announce it, it'll be announced, but it's again, it's forced me to make big decisions, and I can't thank the club enough, because nothing's happening unless I think it should. And I can quite assure you I've hardly ever had that before. In all my career, hardly ever. Do you know what I mean? So I can't ask for any more support than I'm getting right now. It's completely amazing. And I'm even more determined to get these decisions right for the club's long-term future. So there's going to be some tough things that I'm going to have to do. But I'm trying to make the club better, trying to make us stronger, trying to get us in a position to be challenging for the honours this year, i.e. promotion, i.e. a chance of it after the season's finished in the playoffs. And whichever way that is, we're going to have to fight tooth and nail to try and do it. So, but when you lose your player of the season 3 games in, and then you lose that game as well, against someone who your fans expect you to beat, because of the name of that club, it's not been a good week, has it, really?
And last one on the actual game, I think Michael Appleton's been very honest. He said that he's been concerned about Shrewsbury's form. He said they need to be miles better. So what does that kind of make you think when you hear your rival manager be quite so upfront about the fact they're having a tough time?
Yeah, but he knows the game. He's a very experienced manager, and he knows that in that last game that I sat there and watched, they had a couple of opportunities after they got back to 2. The goalies dropped one, the first goal. They let one in from a corner where they were all stood like statues, and they were all bigger than everybody else, but they didn't go and clear it because they had a run of bad feeling and bad result. And the group, he's trying to get to the group. Never seen a bigger group in my life. They're absolutely monsters, and I can guarantee you he'll take a look at the analyst of us and go, right, wow, bang, we got to hit them on the head. So we're going to have to deal with probably more long throws, more crosses, more God knows what. So, it's not rocket science, is it? But I watched that game, and at 2-1 down, they had a hell of a good chance to get back into it. And Notts County, they got their own identity and they're trying to pass and all that, but that's their first win. So, I mean, what are people expecting these days? I know it's going to be a tough game no matter what. And this is probably the hardest start to a season I've ever had, because the information that we haven't got on everybody else, that is months old, that what did they do last year? So we've got to look back at a higher level and try and say what they were like then and what a new manager is going to do. It's crazy, isn't it? Seriously, Oldham, Barnet, Walsall, how are they going to respond after last year? You know what I mean? And we had 16 shots at goal and only hit the target with 5 of them. So, and an extra man for God knows how long. But I don't know what people expect, What I do expect is a standard that I want, that Harry was leading, and now we haven't got him. And now what we got to try and do is try and make sure that we're in it to win it as much as we possibly can. So whatever they throw at us, they were a first division side last year and they didn't have enough to stay there. Some of their players are absolute quality, but they don't look like they're enjoying their football. So hopefully Michael will be on that and at them. And what you need is some points. Luckily we got 6, right? Luckily, because we almost threw some of them away and we almost got some more. And 2 late goals, particularly the second one, that happened because of the first one. And we didn't react to losing Harry with that. So we got a lot to learn, because and we haven't got the most experience. With Ollie Clark's out as well. I'm not making excuses. It is how it is. So we just got to deal with it. But moving forward, it's all about our identity and what we're going to have to do. So it's a big test for us over the next few months. And I'm really looking forward to it, I have to say. I've got some wonderful players in there and wonderful people.
You were without Ollie Clark and James Ball on Tuesday night. How are they looking now?
Ollie Clark is still not fit, and James Ball has had a scan and he's got a PCL, grade 1 to 2. Last year we had a PCL, that was grade 2. That was Aaron Drinnan. So unfortunately Bawley has got a grade 1 to 2, so it shouldn't be quite as bad, but it's not good news for him or us. If you want me to put a time scale on it, it's difficult, but somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks. He's going to have to be in a pot for God knows how long. It's a stabilised knee. So, and then Harris is back and it's a ACL. So, just as we feared.
Clear injuries aren't helping you at the moment. Harrison Linton wiped off for Chipman the other night. Have you got any update on where?
No. Not at the moment, because he can't play for me for however many weeks, so why am I spending time worrying about that? I can't. Sorry, Harrison, I can't, because we'll know, everybody else does that. I can't think about Harrison Minton because he's not in my plans at this moment in time, is he? So, no time for that, son.
You're disappointed with the way the team trained on Monday ahead of Barnet. Have you seen the response you were looking for in the days since?
I'm not disappointed. I told them that I feel they need to learn some things. So when I say, if you spin it as a disappointment, I could see the patterns. and they need to control each other. How important is training? How important is that chance to smash that in? And I show them every time. You have to dial in your mind. And some younger people don't know how to do it yet, and I proved it again yesterday to my goalkeeper. Quite simple. I know how to do it. Do you want me to explain why? Might sound big-headed, but we're about 25, 30 yards out, and the balls are there, and Connor goes, go on, and hit the bar again. I've hit it 5 times in a row when I've needed to, under pressure. And he went, I bet you can't do it here. I said, you have a go. I said, you just got to dial it in. Get your mind, get your brain. So he had a go, and he just missed. So I had a go, and it not only hit the bar, it bounced right back towards me, and we got it on film. 6 in a row, that is. And he went, how the hell did you? I said, no, just trust yourself and believe you're going to do it, and then look at that, look at the ball, look at that, look at the ball, look at that. So your brain tells you exactly how hard you got to hit it. And if you believe you can do it, you can do it. You're dialing in to your mind, to your brain. And that's all the practice I did all those years ago. Ask them. I might sell you some footage if you want. But I've learned how to do this with your mind. So, and that's what all of this lot got to learn. That's why I can help Harry. Because I know these things. And what you can do. And life's about what you think. And then those thoughts turn into things. Movements, words, here we go. And I can't wait to try and do that to all of this lot. So, but I saw that they didn't have that. It wasn't important enough, and not in a bad way. Well, oh, we've just won, and you know, not in a bad way. It's not in a bad way. This group's much better than it was when I first came in here. That don't mean we're going to get some better results. It doesn't mean that. You got to earn that right. You got to stop the opposition. And on the day you got to have a tug and can you win? But we got to learn to do that. And last year doesn't mean a thing now. And our fans should realise that. I love the optimism, but you can't have expectation. You got to earn that right. And we've got to earn that right as a group. And hopefully people will go along that journey with us. We might win some games that you might not expect us to win. We might win games, we might lose games that you're expecting us to win, because if you're expecting, then you're arrogant, because it's not real. So we shouldn't be an arrogant club. We got to be a lovely, joyful club who goes around and represents football, what it means. It means opportunity, it means a chance, it means connection with the world. It's a wonderful, wonderful game that we should all enjoy. That some horrible pigs jump on the back of and use it for their own gains and whatever. Get lost. It belongs to the world. It belongs to men, women. It's the best thing that I've ever seen in my life. And it teaches you everything about being a proper, real human being. You lose with dignity. You congratulate the other people. You don't expect anything. You hope and you dream and you keep going to try and do that, but you don't expect anything. Because life just slaps you straight in the face. And if we don't know that by now, I've seen it over and over again. It's helped me through all sorts of horrible bits and pieces in life. Tim Parkin lost his son when he was only 5 years old. He was my centre half. And I had to try and help him. We lost Mickey Barrett in our team. He went in hospital. We thought, God, what's the matter with you, Mick? And then 2 weeks later, he's dead. So football keeps me going. And this club is injected life into me again. And I love it. And I love everything about it apart from those horrible, disgusting bits and pieces that we don't want. So, and it's in football, and it always will be, so I'm not moaning at my team, I'm just saying. So, as long as you can get up every morning and come in and have the chance to make a difference, that's all that matters to me. And as long as our fans come along with the optimism and the enthusiasm that our team's going to try, no matter what the score is, they're going to try to score the next goal. And hopefully we might do that enough to have a damn good season, because we haven't got to win every time. But the more you do that, the easier it becomes. And the less you lose. Unfortunately, we've lost 2 and we've won 2. But if those results, because they're only imposters, if those results would have slipped and changed, I wouldn't really be that bothered. It's about what happens in there and how you're going to learn from it and what you're going to do about it. And do I need some more in there? Yes, I do now. I've lost a couple of really important elements, and we're short of a couple of really important elements, you know. So, and to find those elements now, with the money that I might have now, that I might not have had before, that I might not have been allowed because we have to, is not easy, but I'm sure we'll have a right good go at it. And I'm really optimistic about where we could finish because of the feeling in there about what has happened to us, like a siege mentality. That's what I'm trying to create here. And I need the fans to buy into that. Seriously, buy into that. Not, oh, should have beat them, they're down the bottom. Oh, you should have, they're only barring it. I mean, God, who are, do you know what I mean? And history is nice, but we want to make our own. And you've got to work damn hard to do that. And that's what I guarantee you we're going to do.
He's been here for about 2 months now, so what do you make of the way Jake Tabor's been adapting to professional football, having not really been in it before?
He's had a rude awakening. Got smashed to bits at Eastleigh. Physically. Someone battered him all over the place. And then he's got it wrong because he's trying to be as strong as that bloke instead of just outrun the bloke again the next time. It doesn't matter because he ain't built that way. And there's lots of things I'm going to have to help him with, but, you know. And what I got to do is pick him at the right time rather than put him ahead of other people. So whatever I do, there'll be someone else. I'm very confident there'll be someone else or someone else I might be able to bring in that can do that. And he is an addition, a sprinkling of thing on top of it, that whatever people think, he hasn't been in football. So, and the hoo-ha about him is a waste of space. It's just noise. And what he's got to do, and I'll take my time to help him and help him and help him get over that. And a few goals here and there might help him. So, but we're working on that project. So, I think he's doing wonderfully well. I really think he's a wonderful kid. I totally get him. And he's totally modern. He's all over the internet. And I always knew that was going to be not a problem. It's just going to be who it is and where it is, and I don't care. And if he realises that that's going to be more and more pressure for him, then he's got to deal with that as well, hasn't he? And as he said himself, if I actually go there and I'm pony, at least I know I've had a go. Pony and trap crap, if you don't know what that is. Brilliant. Honestly, absolutely brilliant. So, and he better be good because he's already had his teeth done. That's another modern thing, isn't it?